Welcome back to Preservation Travels with Lane and Kevin. We're back in beautiful Natchez, Mississippi, and today we're seeing a treasure from the mid-19th century. Well, welcome to the William Harris house right here in downtown Natchez, Mississippi. When people say location, 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 they're talking about this location. We are 2 blocks maybe from the Mississippi Bluff overlooking the Mississippi River. It is the iconic location that Natchez is known for. It is where all of our festivals take place. You can watch the balloons ascend in October when the Historic Natchez Foundation hosts its annual Balloon Fest here. You could not be in a better prime spot, walking distance to everything, but still living inside an incredible historic property. This house is a bit of an architectural mishmash, but I mean that in the most flattering way possible. We see this all over Natchez, Mississippi. These homes are so old. Again, this home was built in 1835. So we are well in the pre-Civil War period. And externally, it is a pure Greek Revival design with the beautiful double portico, this center hall design, gorgeous front and rear doors that match with transoms and side lights that mimic one another. It's a simple 2-pile design. So I'll remind you, 2-pile means that it's 2 rooms in the front, 2 rooms in the back. So we're counting the depth of rooms to get the 2-pile design. Very simple in architectural design. You'll see in the mantelpieces in the main rooms that this house started out as a very vernacular build, not a lot of high style. But from 1850 onward to 1900 and then again in 1950 onward, this house had a lot of trendy updates. And this colonnade behind me and the one atop me are some beautiful examples of those evolutions in architectural design. These were probably added in the neoclassical revival period. They're stunning. They blend seamlessly. These are ionic columns with these beautiful volutes at the top, egg and dart design with your rosette. Now, it's possible that they're original to the property, but unlikely. These look very much like they're a part of an early 1900s remodel. Now, we're going to cross to the other side of the entryway, and I'm going to show you something that was probably added around the 1920s. These gorgeous leaded glass French doors. The glass is beveled, you'll see. Stunning set. but these have no business at all in a purely 1830s design. Now, were these added in the 1920s, which the style of the door would indicate, or were they part of a later 1950s and forward remodel? We really don't know. The style of the door is not something we see here in the American South very often at all, even in the 1910s and 20s period where this sort of Art Nouveau style was in vogue. These really are evocative of an English, British look, design, and architectural feature. So my suspicion is that these are imported doors that were installed here later on to become part of the design. Another gorgeous feature in this entryway. I mean, you walk in this entryway of this home and it takes your breath away. There are so many magnificent features that you see right when you come through the front door. The columns, the doors, and of course, this gorgeous newel post and banister that rise to the second floor with this incredibly graceful curve that we see so often in these early build houses. But I have something over here that I think may be a little bit later, and it's this gorgeous paneling that we have here as the staircase rises. This is really indicative more of an early 1900s paneled side of a stairway. So I suspect that potentially the columns and the panel work were added at the same time, sometime around the turn of the 20th century. Here we are in the smaller of the two front parlors. It would have been the family's private parlor. How do we know that? Because it is smaller. The one across the way that you'll see in a minute is quite large. But there are a couple of architectural details in here that really give us some clues as to how this home evolved over time. The first is this beautiful set of double French doors that walk out onto the main gallery. Now, this is not a style that we see in 1835. In 1835, more than likely, these doors, which we have a set of in the main parlor and in this family parlor, and then we have two sets upstairs, probably, not definitively, but probably would have been either jib doors or box head windows. This house is even a little early for box heads, but this particular style is very uncommon for that 1830s period. We know, however, that these are very old doors. You can't see it in the video, but there is wavy bubbled glass. So again, my guess is that when this home underwent a massive renovation in the early 20th century, the jib doors were replaced with these opening French doors in all of the rooms where they're present, and they're absolutely incredible. All of the mantelpieces in this home are original. How do I know that? Because this is just incredibly indicative of that 1830s period. And you can see how simplistic the style is. There is no embellishment here at all. Very, very, very simple in style. And so this gives us more of an indication of what the interior design would have looked like when this home was first built. A very simple home. This is not marble. This is a plaster surround that has been faux marbled to look like stone. And then we have a gorgeous marble hearth piece there. This is more the design that we would have seen in the early home rather than those super high style ionic columns. In the center of this room and in the center of all the main rooms, we have absolutely magnificent Venetian glass chandeliers. These alone are almost worth the purchase price of this house. Just gorgeous pieces, not to be missed. Well, here we are in the main parlor. It's the larger of the two parlors, so this would have been the public receiving space. Again, we have those beautiful French doors that open onto the front gallery, a Venetian glass chandelier over my head. Behind me, we have some absolutely exquisite pocket doors. Now, do I think these French style pocket doors are original with glass panes in them? Not to the 1830s period. Those are probably more indicative of a 1900, 10, 20 remodel period, but they're absolutely stunning, and they keep the eye line open from this main parlor to the dining room. Something of note in this room that's very interesting, you see this gorgeous bay on this side of the home. This was an addition. How can we tell pretty definitively and very quickly this was an addition? All we have to do is look underfoot. You can see in the main part of the home, the floors are cypress, wide plank floors, and they have quite a bit of nail scarring, indicating that this floor would have originally had either an oilcloth or a carpeted floor. But we get into the bay, the boards are narrower and they're pine. So those are not original floors, and it starts right at the point where we get into this new bay space. Now you will see there are two 12/12 windows. So you might look at that and say, gosh, those windows are 12/12. That indicates an original build period with the windows. Probably what happened was there were two windows on this flat, straight wall here. And when they bumped it out, they reused those windows because back then, reduce, reuse, recycle was already a thing. Well, here we are in the dining room, this most spectacular of places. The crown jewel, you would think, is this amazing Venetian glass chandelier, but no.
I know this wallpaper looks like the more commonly seen Zuber paper, but it's not. This paper is manufactured by Joseph DuFour, which was founded in 1797 by brothers Joseph and Pierre DuFour. This particular pattern is called Monuments of Paris, and it was originally created in 1812. That's the same year that Pride and Prejudice was published and the same year that Auburn was built here in Natchez. But this paper is not of the 1812 period. This paper was created and installed in the 1980s. But it was made and blocked from the same exact blocks that were used to create the first versions of this paper over 200 years ago.
This paper is absolutely magnificent, and one of the reasons it is so special is because we have the opportunity to have a full panorama, almost uninterrupted as you go around the room. It's simply spectacular. I absolutely love this monumental family room kitchen combo space. You'll see behind me a series of French doors that open into this New Orleans style courtyard out here. We have another courtyard on the opposite side. But if we look closely, we can see that what appears to be a completely modern space may in fact be an extant outbuilding from the original build date. I suspect, looking at this space, that this is in fact the original kitchen house for the beautiful main home. And one of the things that makes me think that is this very, very early, very large hearth that exists here. You can tell this is not a new piece. It's probably hard to tell on video, but you can see years worth of wear in this beautiful mantelpiece. The hearth is very large. It would be sufficient for cooking, and we would have been detached without that walkway from the main house. So it's very possible that this beautiful modern space, great for modern family living, did start its life as the kitchen for the main house. Well, here we are in the back parlor. So again, remember, two-pile design. In front of us was that first parlor that we saw, the private family parlor. And then we have a back family room. Would have been a music room, a study originally. It's now being used as a main bedroom. Again, another early, original, very simple style Greek Revival mantle with a plastered surround and that same stone on the hearth. Now, typically I don't talk about furnishings in a house, but this is a gorgeous quatrefoil teaster bed. And if I was going to buy this house, one of the stipulations would be that I get to keep this incredible bed. Wonderfully done is a main bathroom off of this room. So you have a main suite on the first floor. So rare to find in houses of this period, and so beautifully done. All right, now I'm going to take you upstairs and show you the beautiful 4-bedroom layout design and the double walk-out porches on the front and back galleries. hope you've enjoyed this little walk through a little bit of Natchez architecture, art, and history. Now, we want to remind you, we are not real estate agents. We do not represent this home. We can't tell you anything about the price, the size, etc. We're just here to share with you a private home that otherwise would never be open to public eyes. But if you're in the market for an incredible home at what we think is an amazing price, you can find the Zillow link in the description below. Reach out to the real estate agent and they will be so happy to schedule your private tour of this beautiful home. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. We do lots of our own renovation, giving you DIY tips, showing you how you can save a house and save some history, and tons of these architectural history tours teaching you about America's built environment. We'll see you next time on Preservation Travels with Lane and Kevin.